welcome to the McCall Center for Art and Innovation. I'm Grace, and I'm a local ceramic artist here in Charlotte. I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've made recently. Here is a 95 square foot mosaic that I made earlier this summer. Here's some more pictures of it. So this is the kind of stuff that I've been working on lately, making these surreal mosaics around Charlotte that you can go visit actually if you want. Here's a trash can in Noda that I covered in some tiles. All these funny people with sunglasses. And this is a mural that I made a couple of years ago with ceramics and paint. So that's some of the work that I've been making. And today, though, we're going to be doing a mini art lab, and we're going to play with some air dry clay. I'm going to be using Crayola Model Magic, which works great, or you could be using a polymer clay. There's all kinds of different clays you can get at a craft store, but that's what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to show you some things that I made at home. So here are some things that I made. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I like to use different materials and mix it up with my clay. So with this one, I used pipe cleaner. Here's a little abstract one that, put a straw through it. Just had fun with color. And here's a weird banana with a mustache, some weird eyebrows, a nose. So I really like to play with, imagery from my everyday life and then just give it a little twist. Here's a little grocery bag, some groceries, apple, donut, carrot, little snowman, and yeah, here's a little abstract ball. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You make tiny stuff, you can make bigger stuff. But yeah, we're just here to have fun, and that's all we're worried about today. So let's start making some things. So here is the clays that I'm gonna be using. I have white, blue, yellow, and red, which it's really nice to have, your primary colors, because you can make pretty much any color out of them. And then I'm also going to be playing with some other materials that, we can incorporate into our sculptures, like these pipe cleaners, some string, this tinsel, which is so fun and sparkly, toothpicks, and I really love these for making details too, so you can use it in your sculptures, or you can just use it as a tool that you can get easily. Some straws, which can also be used as a tool and a material. Also have this bottle cap, which you can use like a cookie cutter, a stamp. And that's what I have today. So let's start making some stuff. The first thing I want to make for you is a little grocery bag, because I love that you can put something in it. And it's also a funny thing that, you know, we see all the time. And maybe you don't think about it as something that you could make into an art piece. So I'm gonna mix actually this white and red because I like the idea of a pink one. And by the way, don't feel pressured to make what I'm making. You can make whatever you want. I'm just trying to give you some ideas. But look how cool this is when you're mixing it. Because you don't even have to mix it all the way if you don't want to. You can just have it be like this marbled color. And that's always fun. I'm gonna add more white because I want it to be a lighter color. Sometimes the most fun part is just feeling the clay in your hands. And the great thing about this particular modeling material is that it doesn't stick to anything. It's really, really great for if you're working at home and you don't want to make a mess. So that's pretty well mixed up. And when I start to make stuff, a lot of times I like to first make a ball, because you know that's a great starting point, almost always, for most things, unless you're making something really flat. And then you might want to start with more of a pancake. But I like to start with a ball, and then for making my grocery bag, I'm going to start by pressing in the center of the ball I made and sort of working my way around and pinching. And this is, you know, if you are working in clay, which is what I normally do, you'd call this a pinch pot. And it's really a starting point for a lot of sculptures. And don't worry about it being perfect. The good thing is you can always start over if you don't like how it's going. So for me, with a plastic bag, I'm gonna start working my way up on these edges because I'm trying to get the little handles started. Poked a hole in there, this handle. Gonna poke a hole on this side. And that's looking kind of like a little grocery bag now. And the other fun thing is that, you know, it's not, especially with this kind, I like stuff that you don't have to have it look perfect, because this kind of thing, it's meant to be wrinkly, it's meant to be a weird shape because that's how they are normally. They're not like a perfect circle or a perfect square. And so yeah, it's nice for that. So I'm gonna push it down on the bottom so that it sits up. So there you go, you kind of see it. And I'm gonna put a happy face on it because, you know, a lot of grocery bags have little happy faces. I'm gonna start with a ball again. But this time, I'm gonna flatten it out. And before I put it on, I wanna give this a face. But I'm gonna use a different material for making the face. And I'm gonna use this pipe cleaner because I think it'll be really fun, and I like that it'll be a different texture, so it'll feel different. It'll be like fun, it'll be fuzzy. So I'm gonna cut this. So here's our little smile. I'm gonna curve these edges a little bit so that way the tips, I mean, so that way it kind of sticks in the clay maybe a little bit better. And then I'm going to give it some eyes. I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to curve it. Look how happy. Okay. All right. So here's our little fuzzy happy face. Now I'm going to stick it on here. And this is really easy to stick to with other, like it's easy to put a separate piece on here. It sticks really nice. Cute. All right, so now that we have this all done, I'm gonna make some stuff to put inside of it. So if you do make this at home, you can just put whatever you want inside of it. Like, I don't know, your change or whatever. So I'm gonna make a little apple. Like this one I made over here. Because I think it's really cute and it's pretty easy. So I'm gonna start with a ball again. And I make a ball by just putting my hands together like this and rubbing it. And I'm gonna press in the center to give it that kind of apple-y look, and at the bottom. But now it needs a leaf and a stem, I think. So I'm gonna mix some colors for that. So for making the green, I'm gonna take this blue, I'm gonna mix it with some yellow. All right, this green is looking a little bit blue. So I'm gonna just take a little piece of it and add more yellow. It's always good when you're mixing colors to start small because it can get out of hand. Because, you know, you gotta kind of just try it out and then you'll kind of know if you need a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. So this is more of the green that I want. Okay. So I'll make a little leaf. And then I'm gonna make the stem, and I'm going to mix some of this green with some red. I need to grab some more red. I used up all my red. I'm gonna take a little bit actually out of this apple because we don't need that much. And I'll just redo it a little bit. No big deal. So to make the brown for the stem, I'm gonna mix a little bit of green, a little bit of red. Let's see what we get. This is kind of the really fun, for me, I really love mixing colors. It's fun to see what happens. So this is a good color, I think, for the stem. So I'm gonna put this little stem on. And put the leaf on. That looks like an apple. It does need the little bottom brown spot. I don't know what you call that, but you know what I mean, probably. If you've looked at an apple. And I'm gonna put a bite in it, actually. So for that, I'm gonna add this little dimple right here, my finger. And then I'm gonna grab a little bit more white. Okay, so here's some white. And I'm gonna take a little piece. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna push it in. I wanna make it look kind of like teeth. I'm gonna use a toothpick to kind of push these details. And then I'm gonna give the leaf a little line. And that's a pretty, you know, nice little apple. And we can always give him a little face too if we want. Because like, why not? It's always fun to put a face on something. So I'll give him an eye here, an eye there, a little mouth. There you go. And that's something you can put in your grocery bag. So we can make another thing for our grocery bag, maybe. Or we could do something abstract. Should we do something abstract? Okay. So now that we've had some fun making some stuff that, you know, we might find at our house, let's make something abstract. So not something that, you know, exists in regular life, or like not something that we're not trying to represent, you know, an object or, you know, anything recognizable. It's just going to be exploring things with color and design and just like having fun with our materials and not worrying about making it look like anything. So for that, I'm going to start mixing some colors because I like the idea of making a marbly color to begin. So I'm gonna take this green and I'm gonna mix it with this blue. Maybe I'm gonna put some white in there. Now it kind of looks like the earth actually. And I'm gonna roll it into a ball because I just think that's a really easy place to start. And maybe I'll show you before I keep going, remind you of maybe some of the stuff that I already made that's a little abstract. So this ball I made, maybe we can make something like that. Or I made this, just a bunch of balls with straw going through it, polka dots and marbles and different shapes. So let's make this ball a little bit more fun. We can start with some tinsel. So one thing that I enjoyed doing when I was playing with this is just wrapping stuff around it. It's kind of cool. I like the way that it moves the clay. And then we can take a pipe cleaner. We can wrap that too. Just having fun with the different textures and colors. And then roll it, and it makes it look different. Look. We can just keep on going until you get bored. Start something new. I'm gonna add the string. I'm gonna cut it because this is a lot of string. Roll it again. So that's kind of cool. And another thing you can do is you could take something like this and you could take a straw, or it doesn't have to be a straw, it could be pretty much anything, and you can poke through it. And it can be a bead. So after it dries, you could stick a string in it, you can make a necklace, or put a bunch of them together, make it into a hanging sculpture. I'm just going to try to put a string through it now so I can show you, even though it's kind of wet, so it'd be better to wait until it's all dry. But isn't that kind of cool? So yeah, a lot of possibilities. All right, so now that we've made some, made our shopping bag, made our apple, made this weird little abstract ball, let's make some flat stuff. Maybe let's make a phone, because we all love our phones. So I'm going to start with this piece of white and trying to flatten it out. So I'm going to make a rectangle to start with. And then I'm going to use this straw to make the home button. You know, the little circle button if you have an iPhone. And I'm going to use this toothpick. I'm going to make the speaker here. The camera. I'm going to make the screen using my toothpick. And you know, I know this doesn't look like a perfect phone, but I think it doesn't have to get the idea. And now I'm gonna make some stuff in the screen that I think will be fun. I like the idea of just putting a bunch of colors in it, you know? Like a fun pattern, maybe. Put some yellow. Maybe those are bananas. Or just some fun squiggles. Add some green. Just playing with colors and enjoying the way they come together. Let's add some blue. I'm going to mix my blue with my green and make more of a teal kind of color. Add some white to it. More blue. Add some more squiggles. Maybe we can add some more different materials actually. Let's see what happens. Like this. Kind of wish I had put this on first. Kind of need to put some little clay pieces over it for it to stick. But I can still do that. That's pretty fun. Gotta straighten this out again because, you know, got kind of funky when I was pressing into it. Anyways, so that's kind of a fun little foam. Kind of needs, it needs to dry before I can pick it up. Sometimes the flat stuff really, like, it does stick a little bit, but it'll come off when it dries. So yeah, so that's another great thing about this air dry clay is that in about 24 hours, it's dry and you can use it forever and keep it, you know, or you could, you know, roll it all back up together and put it in a container, and you can keep making more things and just do it over and over and over again. So thank you so much for joining me in this art lab. I had so much fun and I hope you did too. If you want to see more of my work and what I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram at Stott_pots. I'm always, you know, up to something in Charlotte. You can go visit my public art that I've been working on this year in South End, in NODA. I have another one coming up at Camp North End that you can see. So thank you, and I hope you have a great day.